So,
all right. Hello, everybody. Welcome to this very special live broadcast. Before we take off in the drone, I'm going to introduce you to Marnus. Hello, Marnus.
hi everybody. Hello, James.
There's Marnus. He's not wearing his pajamas, which is excellent. And we're about to go on an amazing flight. And I'll tell you a little bit about exactly what I'm doing and where we are and exactly sort of what's going to happen over the next half an hour once we take off. And I am now on me very own going to push the takeoff button. There are the flight controls, and the drone is now taking off. Okay, magnificent view there of the Drakensberg of northern South Africa. Now, what I'm going to do is just do a little turnaround and tell you that I am flying, right, on me very own. I am flying. And Marnus is there just to make sure that I don't crash and to tell us about where we are and to help us explore this area. So for those of you who are regular viewers of Wild Earth, basically we're looking off towards Djuma there. That's about 150 kilometers off that way. And Antioch, where we are now, is a piece of ground in the foothills here of this magnificent area known as the Northern Drakensberg of South Africa. Okay, now we can fly over that road, which we will now probably proceed to do, and we'll head towards the mountains and see what sort of animals we can find. Now, the reason we're doing this... yes, go ahead, Marnus.
So the geofence is there. You can head on to the southeast, turn to the southeast, and then we can more left.
Okay, you see this,
and then we can turn front. We can turn to the right. Yeah, you can go straight here.
Straight here. I'm with you. Okay. All right. Now we're moving. While we're moving along, you are allowed to do this. Anybody, you can book a flight with Nature Eye. You go to natureeye.com. You'll get $10 off the flight if you use the coupon Wild Earth Fly. That's Wild Earth Fly. And the big thing to reiterate here is that while Marnus is there to make sure that we don't do anything stupid, I am actually flying this drone. I'm controlling it remotely from Johannesburg, if you can believe it. There's almost zero latency at all, and it's an unbelievable thing to be able to do. So I'm 600 kilometers from where we're flying this drone currently, which I just think is remarkable. Oh, no, sorry, I can see now exactly where I'm supposed to be going. All right, sorry, Marnus. We'll get there eventually.
No.
Now, this is my fourth flight, and being somewhat incompetent with things like video games and that sort of thing, you'll have to excuse any dodgy sort of things that happen. Then a couple of nice questions coming through, which I had hoped to be able to answer. Hang on a second. Marnus, I'm going to hand... Can I ask you to just take control and fly us to where you had the hippos this morning? I'm just quickly going to plug in another screen because there are lots of really nice questions here, and I'd like to be able to answer them. So I've handed control over to Marnus, everyone. He is now flying. That's why the camera's making much more sense to you right now. Right, let me move that across there. There, now I can see your questions, which is fantastic. All right, Marnus, you may now hand me the con.
And you the sorry, James, say that again.
hand me the controls, please.
Okay. That you have control again.
Thank you very much. Okay, so did you have you had some animals around that open area there, did you?
At the back, yeah. So I think there were zebra at the back,
Okay, cool.
and some impala.
All right. Now, the other thing that you're able to do here is take pictures. So if we see something, we can take some pictures. And you can also use thermal. So if I do this and I go switch lens, ooh, that's the thermal lens. I think what we need to do is just zoom out a bit. That won't work. That's pretty. We'll get a better. We'll get a better thermal picture for you now. All right. Let's keep flying. I seem to have lost control briefly. Oh, there goes the picture. Can you still hear me, Manus?
Yes, I'm still there.
I've got no picture currently.
You got no picture? Could you sort that?
While you sort that out, Laura Moore, you say you're saying hello to everybody. Sherry P, you say awesome thermal Mark Blatt belts. Yes, that is fantastic. We'll just get that up now. I'm not sure what's happened here. Laura Moore, you say you have Wild Earth on your TV and now you're flying on your cell phone. How cool is this? I mean, it's pretty astounding, isn't it? That you're able to do that. The mountains, Storm, those are the Drakensberg Mountains, the northern Drakensberg. And Tim, you're just talking about some of the flights that Nature Eye does over Iceland with the geologist Sean Wilsey. Yeah, no, I mean, it's really an astonishing concept, this. Manus, any
Sorry,
idea?
James.
Have you got a picture?
Just give me a second.
Okay.
Do you have a picture at the moment?
I do not have picture.
Okay. I'm going to restart the app quickly.
I'm just going to restart the app, everyone. You won't lose me. We will keep chatting. Puma, you want to know how high the drone is? The drone is flying. I'll just tell you a bit more about kind of the technicalities of how this works from a layman's point of view, because that's what I am. So there's a minimum height of about, there we go, picture back. The minimum height is 70 meters, and you can go all the way up to, I think it's about 180 meters, if I'm not mistaken. There we go. Now we're flying. And we'll go over to that waterhole and see what we can see. And the big thing here is to make sure that animals are not disturbed by the drone. Obviously, that's always a priority. I do think there seems to be some kind of, I think probably especially since that dreadful bear video where the drone was harassing that cub, there's been an impression created that drones are perhaps not particularly environmentally friendly and not something that we should be viewing wildlife with. I disagree with that profoundly, because I think the disturbance caused by a drone is far less than that caused by a vehicle. And it's just a question of the animals getting used to the drone, and also a question of being sensitive with it, not flying like an imbecile. I think always flying not like an imbecile is the way to go. All right, so there's a nice waterhole. We'll fly across there. Let's go across, and then we can zoom in a bit. And I'll just have a quick thermal look, shall we? Come on, thermal. All right, so nice warm water. Not much by way of animal currently. Unless those are hippos there on the left. There aren't hippos in there, are there, Manus?
There are hippos on the right of the island, on the right back side of the island.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's switch back to normal picture. There we go. All right, so we're quite high up now. We're 111.5 meters up, which for those of you who still live in the 18th century is about 350 feet. And that's not above sea level, that's above the ground there. Yeah, you can see the hippo there. Just see the ripples in the water. We'll just go up a bit, and then we'll use the lens to zoom as opposed to buzzing the hippo. And so we'll go to about 8 times. There we go. How's that? Almost see up the nose of a fish there, I would have said. So I think there are probably a few hippo in here. Oh, what's that? There we go. There is there is possibly the back end of some mud. No, it's a hippopotamus. There we go. Look at that. Now, everyone, if all I need to do to take a picture of this magnificent seal is push my spacebar. Here we go. Oh, that's a keeper. We'll put that on the wall. That's amazing. Okay, and that if you do take a picture like that, Manus will process it and send it to you after the flight. So I'm just going to tilt the camera up now. Have a little bit of a squiz around here. It's always interesting to me from the air. In fact, this is a really nice way of demonstrating. This area, when you fly over it from quite high, looks pretty open, and then when you get close by, it is obviously not so open. Okay, so we'll just move a bit now, and I'll see if we can do a bit of a. No, you don't want to do it with a lens like that. We'll zoom out again, and we'll just do a bit of a swing round. I think I've forgotten how to do this. There we go. All right. Then, now if you'll see, I'm sure you can see where I'm going to the top left of my screen there. You can go to tell the drone to fly you to one of 4 spots that are pre-programmed. Manus, is there anything worth flying to here this morning? Manus has been up.
No, not really. So most of the animals are on the way to this watering hole and then on the way to the watering hole number 2.
Okay, so what would you suggest we do from here?
I'd suggest we go to watering hole 2. There's quite a few zebra there and a giraffe standing at the watering hole.
So we'll click go there, and now the drone will fly automatically towards waterhole number 2. Come on, Mr. Drone. Go. Waterhole number 2. Go. It doesn't seem to be.
I'm just going to use the physical virtual stick. Okay. Switch it back on. Okay, try again.
Right.
Okay, let me just descend a little.
You think that's what the problem is? Swift Kai, how long do the batteries last? We've got about half an hour, depending on wind. Timber Robin, good morning to you. Good heavens. Nice to hear from you, Timber Robin, watching the show. For those of you who don't know, Timber Robin is a spectacularly amusing South African, a great ambassador for our country and our general national zeitgeist, I suppose. Ubomba Goal, that's pretty cool that you can select point of interest. It is, and now we seem to be flying towards said point of interest. And Swift Kai say, what a wonderful way to see the world. It is certainly a spectacular way to see the world. Our Laura Moore, you say, you wonder if this is how folks feel when experiencing a hot air balloon safari. I would say that the view is quite similar. The terror one feels is very different, however. Flying over the Masai Mara in a balloon is a lot scarier than sitting where I am now, sipping very fine coffee while flying virtually. But yes, the views are quite similar. Is that waterhole number 2, Manus?
Yes, this is watering hole number 2.
And where would you suggest I look from this current position?
So they were there on the top right of the watering hole, where we're flying now.
Okay.
So top right somewhere. Okay. You can switch to thermal.
All right, we can try the thermal. Let's just go sideways slightly. There we go. Switch lens. Not seeing any thermal there. So that's the waterhole straight in front of us there, and then the zebra
Yeah,
off to the
57.
right.
Yeah.
All right, let's go back to the other one before somebody joins in and thinks we're looking at a coal mine.
So on the right of the watering hole,
Yeah.
I don't know if that's maybe a giraffe or my imagination. It
Mm-hmm.
was mine.
Was it your imagination?
Yeah.
They must be in here somewhere.
Yeah, they won't be far.
It's a lovely day here in the northern Drakensberg. Oh,
Tree.
there we go. There's some animals. Hang on a second. Let me back it up a bit. We'll go up a little. There's some zebras gambling about there. Let's see if we can zoom in on them a little bit. Where were they now?
I think to your right.
Ah, spot on, Manus. There we go. Look at that. Just take a picture. that'll, be, that'll be a classic shot. So there they are, wandering into the woodlands. And Manus, I'm correct in saying that they don't have to worry about being savaged by anything here. There are no lions in this particular reserve, right?
There is lions.
There
We
is.
had a lion on the reserve right next to them.
Right.
But they will have lions. They have everything except for elephants.
Okay. So these zebras do have to watch out.
Yeah.
Right. And you can see, I mean, Manus, how much rain have you had this year?
So far, over, if I'm not mistaken, it's about 300 mil.
Okay, so
We got this year so far.
not a huge amount.
Well, our annual rainfall is about 450 mil.
Oh, is that all? Okay. Okay. So you're on track to get to your average.
Yes.
Not a lot of grass cover here. So these zebbies will have to be quite careful about where they look for food. I got to tell you, even from above, this looks quite thick. And if I was a zebra, I wouldn't go wandering in here. I would be very afraid of being savaged. There's a little one. What a perfect little line of zebras. Oops, sorry. I'm just trying to be a little. There we go. I'm trying to be artistic here. See, we're doing an orbital shot. One shouldn't try this when the lens is so zoomed in, I don't think. Yeah. There we go. Cool. There are the zebras. Okay, so let's zoom out again. And zoop. I just want to quickly, I think for me, one of the most magical things about Antioch is really where it's situated. And so these are the mountains, for those of you who watch the live drives on Wild Earth, these are the mountains that you can see from Juma in the distance, way in the distance. And that canyon there to the right-hand side, you'll see my mouse, won't you? Yes, there you will. That canyon there is the Blader River Canyon, which is one of one of the biggest in the world. Manus, do you know anything more about it? It's the biggest in
Yeah,
South Africa, isn't it?
it's the biggest canyon in South Africa. Yes, it's the it's actually the largest green canyon in the world,
That's it.
and there's a lot of saying that it's the third largest canyon in the world as well. But it's not really the third largest canyon in the world. It's just the largest green canyon in the world,
Right.
meaning vegetation and
Yes.
the water appears green as well. Um, because of the surrounding area, the green surrounding the trees, and
Yeah.
you know.
It's absolutely magnificent. And then it stretches, more than 1,000 kilometers down the escarpment of South, all the way down this ridge line. And when we talk about the Lowveld, this is it. So it's the land to the eastern side of these mountains. And if I turn around and face towards the east, you can see there how flat it is. It's very gently undulating topography, all the way down to the Mozambican floodplain, pretty much, well, with a bump of the Lubombo Mountains, kind of in the, what should we say, about 200 kilometers to the east of where we are now. Bit of agriculture in the area, citrus, nuts, what else? Avos, bit of avo, maybe,
Mango.
mangoes.
That's mainly in this area, yeah.
Yeah,
Those I just mentioned.
I just think it's a magical spot. Really, to wake up with that view every day is spectacular. And I mean, Manus, I'm not incorrect in saying that. Oh, look at the birds there. That this is it's probably a much cooler area than some of the other Lowveld areas further from the mountains. Is that right?
Oh yeah, Palabova. Yes. So further from the mountains, it gets a lot hotter.
Yeah.
Um, the only downside is our weather forecast is very unpredictable
Yes.
because of the mountains.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see if anything is coming down for a drink here. Yeah, RLR Moore looks like scenery out of Lord of the Rings. Yeah, New Zealand's got nothing on this.
Oh, there's a giraffe in the road on the right.
Ooh, oh yes, well spotted. Okay. Now I'm just going to clicky on here, and that'll center the drone on the giraffe, and then we can zoom. There's a question here from GH Fan. Can the animals hear the drone? Yeah, I mean, we're now at the maximum height, so we're 145 meters up. And can they hear it? Yes, I'm sure they can hear it. In the same way that they can hear the wind blowing, they can hear, a fly buzzing around their ears. But it's certainly not a loud noise at 150 meters up. I mean, it's high. And for those of you who only work in the imperial system, that's 400 feet plus. So, no, in fact, it's more than that. It's about almost 500 feet. So we're a long way up. But like I said earlier, I think that, if you fly a drone around a reserve for long enough, the animals will eventually get used to it, as they did with the vehicles. Remember that, vehicles once caused animals to run away. And this particular area and the areas where we operate, they've just got very used to people and vehicles, and so they don't worry about them. But I wouldn't say that this giraffe is vaguely phased by a slight buzzing noise 500 feet above his head. Now, we're going to run out of battery fairly soon, so what I want to do is attempt an orbital shot. Oh, here we go. Now, I always like these because I think it's amazing to watch a competent drone pilot do it.
You're doing very well.
Thank you. Thank you, Manus. You have to say that to me, though. You're obliged to tell me I'm doing well. Yeah. Now, if you get really good, of course, I'd be able to do the zoomed in, but I think it will probably get seasick if I did the zoomed in now. Take another amazing photograph. You ready, everybody? There we go. And if you look up towards the top left where my mouse is sort of shaking around there, that's the battery indicator. So as soon as that reaches that little exclamation mark, the drone will immediately go home on its own. We can still be, you can be with us, but I won't be able to fly it because we don't want it dropping out of the sky in a place that will be difficult to find. Nice. Now remember, when I talk about flying the drone, I am actually flying the drone from home in Johannesburg. The hardy dolls are making a big noise. And you too could be doing this. You go to natureye.com, you can book a flight, and if you are very clever, you will use the coupon Wild Earth Fly, and you'll get $10 off your flight. And you can fly anywhere that Nature Eye has a drone. We've got 3 African locations here, Sibuya and Elephant Sands. Right, the drone is now going to go home of its own accord. You can see my controls are currently disabled. That's really cool. Yeah, so you go to natureye.com, Wild Earth Fly, and you get $10 off, and you can fly it just like I'm flying it. This is what you can do from wherever you are on planet Earth, as long as you have an internet connection, which I'm presuming you do. Donna V, you say, hello, Donna V. You say, where is the home base for the drone? Well, this particular home base is called Antioch, and it is in the Lowveld of South Africa, obviously, just below the Drakensberg Mountains here, quite near Hoedspruit. And Campus-Rus, I suppose, would be your closest settlement. Magnus, is that right?
Yes, so Campus and Hoedspruit is
Yeah.
the closest.
Budokan, you say, awesome. GH fan, very nice. Elizabeth Berchon, thank you, drone. I don't know that the drone is sentient, Elizabeth, but it maybe I'm wrong. Swift Car, you think the drone is smart. Also, like I say, not sentient as far as I'm aware, but who knows? Where's Come says it would self-destruct. I'm not sure at what point the drone would self-destruct. I'm not sure it has a self-destruct function. Honest?
No, it does not.
James Richard, hello. Long time no chat. You say look forward to the next one. Yeah, me too. The next one will be at Elephant Sands. And if you are going to watch, it's tomorrow at 3 o'clock Central African time. So it's 1500 hours Central African time in the afternoon, just in case you thought we were mad enough to try and do it at 3 a.m. We are not. And then on Friday, we'll fly at Sibuya Game Reserve, which is very near where my parents live in the Eastern Cape. Magnificent part of the country, highly underrated. And we'll be flying around there, and that's at 6:30 again. Right, everybody, we're now going to land. If we're very lucky, we'll get a view of Marnus's very fine legs again. If not, and you want to see them again, you'll have to book your own flight. Natureye.com, Wild Earth Fly is your coupon for $10 off, and you can do your very own flight. There are Marnus's legs as we speak. And his Volksgun. And his dog. All right, everybody. Thank you very much for joining us. That was great fun. Thanks a lot, Marnus. We'll see you next time.
Thanks, everybody.